Hey, good morning to everybody. It's Monday. I hope everybody can hear me today because I really don't know what I did Friday, but it was really embarrassing. So if you can hear me, I would appreciate it. You tell me that I can hear you. I can hear it on here. Oh, I can hear myself. Let me turn myself off. I sound so country. Hey, how's everyone today on a Monday, a rainy Monday? So please be cautious. And please be safe out there today. We appreciate y'all. We appreciate y'all. We got a lot going on today. Got a lot going on Saturday. Got a lot going on to Saturday. Let me see if I can knock some of these things out. Please keep in mind that tomorrow, Bessemer, please keep in mind it's time for you to come out and vote August 23rd. And please vote for the one and only Cynthia Stevenson Donald for District 3. We have to keep in mind that we want individuals that are going to represent us. We want individuals that understand the issues, the concerns, the problems that our district has, our neighborhoods have. And we need individuals that not only understand and they know about the issues, they know about the concerns, but also they know about the solutions. And that's one thing we need to do. We need to have individuals that are going to represent us, that are going to represent our district, our neighborhoods, and are going to improve the neighborhoods like they are to be improved. So please vote for Cynthia Stevenson Donald, District 3, Bessemer City Council member. So just go out and vote. It is most important, especially these days, for everybody to come out and vote. Also, Louisville, Kentucky. Louisville, Kentucky, on the 1st of September, which is a Thursday. Meech and Mac Comedy Club. Meech and Mac Comedy Tour. You have Benny Mac as a headliner, and that's going to be at the 21st in Germantown and Barrel Room at 21st. That's 1481 South Shelby Street, Louisville, Kentucky. Tickets are $10 and $15 day of show. You can call 813-313-8136 for information. So please, Louisville. Also, if you need to just need to go to an event, Louisville ain't that far from here. So again, September 1st, Meech and Mac Comedy Tour over in Louisville, Kentucky, 1481 South Shelby Street. Also, when put this down in your calendar, Wednesday, September 21st. Wednesday, September 21st. Laughing with the Herd. Going to be at the Star Dome. Benny Mac. You can call. Doors open at 6:15 showtime, 7:30. DJ Dane mixing love. Tickets are $20 in advance. You can go online at the Stardome to find your tickets. That's September 21st. September 21st, hosted by comic narrator Haircut Slayer Benny Mac, Laughing with the Herd. So that's September 21st. So don't forget about September 21st. Don't forget about September 1st up in Louisville. Also, Weigh It Up Promoters presents No Limit, Mr. Whoop Fiend, Saturday, August 27th at 9 p.m. at Plush Bar and Grill, 4,000 Bessemer Superhighway. You have also Joe Bars is going to be there too. So that's this 27th, this Saturday at 9 p.m. over at Plush Bar and Grill. So please come out. Tickets are available. You can call 205-965-3999. That's Jay. 205-965-3999. Call Jay. Also on the 27th, ASU is going to beat the hell out of the Bisons. Howard Bisons. That's August 27th. We have ASU alumni is having a road trip, $60 transportation and refreshments. Due date is August 22nd. You can call for information. You can call Marlon Meeks at 205. Where'd he go? Where'd he go? Where'd he go? 205-515-1116 for more information, or you can call Wendelin Morgan at 205-447-9369. So that's a road trip. Of course, ASU is going to beat the hell out of Howard, but of course, I would be prejudiced. But anyway, whatever. Also, Back to House Reconnecting Alpha's Cookout, August 27th, 4 p.m. until open to Brothers of Alpha and guests, 2210 First Avenue North, Birmingham, Alabama. Back to the House Reconnecting Alpha's Cookout, August 27th, 4 p.m. until open to Brothers of Alpha Phi Alpha and their guests, 2210 First Avenue North, here in Birmingham. Also, Smash Bros. Radio presents Smash House Show on the 27th. You have Star Baby versus Baylor Brooks. Star House is a show that is Ralph, our boss, the owner, the creator, the generator of Smash Bros. Radio. That's on the 27th. Show is on 7:30. You can catch it on Smash Bros. Smash Bros. Radio Facebook page. So please tune in. Virtual showcase. September 3rd from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. You have in Calera, you have the one comprehensive pistol course, intermediate. Now keep in mind, this is not a class for first-time shooters. Class space is limited to 8 students only. It's $215. Now you have to keep in mind the cost is reasonable considering what you're going to be undergoing. Because with the situation that we are going through now, it is most important that we are aware and knowledgeable on how to use, how to handle, and also understanding this the safety part when it comes to handling firearms. Double Tap Training Grounds, that's 300 Horton Cove Drive in Calera. So comprehensive pistol course, intermediate and advanced pistol fundamentals, proper terminology, proper grip and stance, single and multiple target drills, conflict avoidance, should I shoot scenarios, 101 professional coaching. So please check them out. This is from the Mommy's Lounge Inspires Social and Emotional Learning course. The program is geared towards single mothers to discuss social awareness, self-management, and responsible decision-making over the course of 10 weeks. Classes start September 9th. They offer weekly stipend, childcare, hot meals, all course manuals, certificate of completion, compliance celebration. That's going to be at the Bessemer Recreation Center at 114th Street. To register and for more information, you can email Mommy's Lounge Inspires at info@mommysloungeinspires.com. info@mommysloungeinspires.com. Social and emotional learning class. And see, all of us, we're going through a lot. And parents, I want to give you a shout out because I know that it is extremely hard for y'all. I can't even imagine what it's like to be a parent, because there's just so much going on. And so I just want to give a shout out to you because considering what you're going through, it takes a lot, and I know it takes a lot. and know that you're not here by yourself. You are an inspiration to all of us because of the stamina, because of your dedication to your children and to your families. And so we want to give a shout out to you. Also, keep in mind that scholarship opportunity cost is 10 volunteer work hours. Revitalize Birmingham Group, RBG, and E2 Real Estate Solutions is partnering to provide this training to 10 people on August 22nd, 27th. The eligibility for this scholarship is minority, ages 17 to 25, 10 voluntary hours. To apply, email at support at e2realestatesolutions.com. Support at e2realestatesolutions.com and express why you should be one of the 10 individuals with this opportunity. Also, if you need more information, you can get in touch with Elder Avi Ashanti Shabazz, Shabazz, to find out more information. So that's lock, stock, and barrel of what's happening uh, here in Birmingham. So we got a lot going on. Uh, Especially here in Birmingham. Uh, we just have completed hosting the World Games. It should not be a surprise to anyone that that there is a deficit, um, considering what had transpired earlier. Oh my goodness! Hold up, let me get this out. Forgive me. Uh, I do that tomorrow. Don't forget, Ursula Smith's dance company is having an audition, and I'll give you more information about that. I apologize to her. Uh, so, but there shouldn't be any type of misunderstanding that the World Games is $14 million shortfall, a deficit, and it should go. You can Google any information and you'll find out. And most of you know exactly how to Google or how to use the search engines more so than I do, because of certain wording. But you can look up the examples of cities that have petitioned the Olympics to serve as host. And from what I understand, there is a registration fee that you give to the committee, the Olympics committee. And after you have given them the entrance fee, you do a presentation. And from that presentation, 5 cities are chosen to be looked upon as serving as the host city. And then so those 5 go back and they give another entrance fee. They polish up on the presentation from the initial presentation. And then from that, of the 5, one city is chosen. Now you have to keep in mind that the cities are going on the premise or on the idea that if we are chosen as a host city, well, it is our hope that this would draw more tourism, more individuals into our city, which would generate more revenue for our city. And that's a hope. It's a hope and a dream. And it's an endeavor. So when that city is chosen, yes, there's a big fair, there's a huge celebration. But then the task of getting ready, getting prepped for the Olympics to come is extremely heavy and burdensome, because now you are having an influx of population, excuse me, in which you're going to have to provide housing, in which you're going to have to provide food, in which you're going to have to provide entertainment, in which you're going to have to, have um, venues for those games. Now, if that city does not have the facilities or the venues for those games, those facilities have to be built. So when you combine the bigger picture, in the long run, it is a travesty to most of the cities who have hosted the Olympics because they have gone bankrupt because what the dreams were not fulfilled. The dreams were not fulfilled. Now, this comes from AL.com. It was written by Roy S. Johnson, and it said the World Games competed and left behind a sizable debt. The World Games 2022 held in Birmingham last month cost $65.1 million to produce, which is $10 million less than initially projected. The 11-day event fell short of its revenue goals, generating about $51 million through sponsorships and ticket sales, leaving a $14.1 million shortfall according to the CEO, Nick Sellers. Nick Sellers goes on to say that he couldn't be more proud of the team. The World Games Birmingham Organizing Committee, also known as BOC, Birmingham Organizing Committee. However, for many reasons, our revenues left us with a deficit. We're working with our public and private partners to close the gap as quickly as possible and satisfy all the debts. We have every intention to raise the associated funds. Now, because of that deficit, Mayor Randall Woofin went to City Council. He requested $5 million more. And then, on August 23rd, I respectfully request this matter be presented to the full council for consideration Tuesday, August 23rd. If you agree, then we will request the leadership of the BOC, Birmingham Organizing Committee, to be present for this meeting. Now, the council president, Alexander, was saying it was a success for the city and region, because when you look at the bigger picture, it was a success in that this was the first time in which Birmingham was given the chance to host a major event. I mean, a major event. Now, it's similar to when you're having sort of like a bridal party, or when you're having a baby shower. But this is on a grander scale, because not only are you having to provide resources, but you're thinking about housing, you're thinking about food, you're thinking about transportation, you're thinking about the influx of population coming in. So what type of events, what type of activities do you have to satisfy them? Because once the games are over, then what are the visitors, what are the tourists going to go to? What type of activities do you have scheduled, or do you have planned? And is there transportation to provide to those individuals? So you have a complexity of all these entities coming together. So when you look at the bigger picture, it could have been worse, which is really a frightening thought, because as I have always preached, I'm trying to be as tactful as I can, which is, let me start off by saying, I am pro Birmingham. I will always be pro Birmingham. I will always promote Birmingham. Now, having said that, when you compare Birmingham with the rest of Alabama, you cannot compare us. There is no comparison between us, Montgomery, Selma, Mobile. Huntsville may have a jump on us, but that's only because, and we're more similar to Huntsville because of the Space Center, because of the Space Center being in Huntsville, the Space Center had a lot of international scientists, international visitors coming into Huntsville. So you had that added ingredients, that added philosophy, that added difference of understanding different perspectives. Same thing with Birmingham. Because of the steel mills here in Birmingham, you had that international flair, similar to Huntsville. So see, Birmingham is rich in nationalities, is rich when it comes to the spices, when it comes to the flavors, when it comes to anything international. So to a point, you can compare Birmingham to Huntsville only because of the individuals that came into Birmingham and Huntsville from overseas. And the only thing that Montgomery had was the Maxwell Air Force Base, as well as the War College. But they stayed on the base. They did not mingle with Montgomeryans. And just a quick trip, a history trip, people who were stationed in Maxwell could not stand Montgomeryans. They despised Montgomeryans. Most people did not even want to go to Maxwell because of it being located in Montgomery. So, when you look at Birmingham as a whole, when you look at the materials, when you look at the venues, when you look at the restaurants, when you look at the activities, you have the civil rights history here, which is national, which is worldwide. But likewise, Birmingham cannot just sit on its ass and not think that it needs added revenue coming in, because it does. Now, we have the sports team, but we've had sports teams before, and they came and they went. Now, hopefully, they're here to stay. Then you have that Tinker Tonker Stadium, which is a disgrace. That's only generating money for UAB, which is a disgrace, because UAB is a research college, a teaching college, a worldwide renowned college of research. Now, the only reason why you have that Tinker Tonker pathetic stadium is because of the WASP, the white Anglo-Saxon Protestant men who wanted something, and then they got it. If Birmingham, if we had leaders, if we had a mayor who was as progressive as he ran on, the $14.1 million wouldn't be a question, because we would have had revenue coming in. And from what I understand, the money's there. But it's not Birmingham's responsibility for the 14.1. Birmingham's responsibility is for those vendors, that $4 million that have come up short. Now, those vendors should have been paid after the World Games. And it is a travesty. It is a disgrace. It is disrespectful to those vendors who, on good faith, came out and sold their crafts, sold their goods. So then for the city, for the mayor, for the city council not to back up these vendors, because there's a possibility that these vendors are going to go bankrupt because they have not been paid. It's not their problem that the city or BOC does not have them. That's not their problem. That's the city's problems. That's BOC's problems. Now, you had one councilman to come out, and in his foolish ass rant was saying that, well, the $4 billion can be used for other services. Fuck that shit. Because you have the money. And then, for what I understand, there's some type of controversy going on down at City Hall because during this time, what is it? During COVID, the county received $148 million. Now, that money was supposed to be used as hazard pay. From what I understand, and if I'm incorrect, please, you can, as I always said, you can call me. You can DM me, whatever, to let me know where you were wrong with this and this, but show the receipts to where I was wrong. So I have no problem coming back on my show and saying, listen, I messed up. This isn't correct information. So from what I understand, everyone was supposed to receive $10,000 untaxed. Now, from what I understand, the firemen, the policemen, City Hall received the $10,000 without being taxed. There were other departments that did not receive the entire $5,000, and the $5,000 that was received was taxed. From what I understand, there have been certain benefits that have been removed, that have been deleted, that have been taken away, that have not been given back. One of them being holiday pay. And then when you worked the World's Game, people were supposed to receive hazardous pay, in which they would not receive hazardous pay. So it seems like Randy has his picks and his choose. Now understand, I agree with the firemen and the policemen. I agree with City Hall. But if you're going to do it for some departments, how come you can't do it for all departments? Where's the money for those individuals that were granted to the city? And again, I ask the question, where is the money that was supposed to be used to build the homeless shelters? Where's that money, Ray? Where's the money that was supposed to be used to build the shelters? Where's the money for these workers that have only received half of what they're supposed to be paid? And why is morale so down at City Hall that most of those individuals are moving to work with the county? So what's going on? So as in regards to this $4 million that vendors need to be paid, they need to be paid today. They should have been paid last week. They should have been paid the day after the end of World Games. Because there's no sense in it. Everybody else wants to be paid. These individuals came out on good faith. And they need to be paid. So DQ or O'Queer or whatever the hell his name is, he needs to sit his white ass down and come up with the $4 million to pay these damn vendors. Because again, I state, if there were revenue being generated from businesses, we wouldn't have this problem. As I have always stated before, and I will continue to say until I get my way. Finally, the monorail system has been addressed again by white folks. So hopefully, because of white folks talking about it, hopefully we can get a monorail system from here to Atlanta. Now that would generate an abundance of revenue for those counties to the east, going to Georgia line. Because the monorail has to have all those services, because the monorail, the train is going through those cities, those towns, in those districts, in those counties. Because when the monorail system goes through, you're going to have stations, you're going to have parking lots, you're going to have all these other small stops, and then you're going to have individuals to make sure that the monorail is ran properly, that is maintained properly. And then you had white investors that have come out and want a monorail system from Birmingham to Dallas. Do you not understand? That's South Alabama. That's South Alabama. That's half of Alabama. That's 30-something counties that would have revenue generated from the monorail system. And then from Atlanta to give me a break, from Atlanta to Texas? Can you understand? Can you fathom? Can you think about? Can you get your asses out of the damn box and be progressives to understand that when you have that complexity, when you have that line that's connecting that will generate enough revenue, do you not understand what services can be created? You have enough of money for education. You have enough of money for social services. You have enough of money for the veterans, for the poor, for the elderly, for the children. And then down in South Alabama, in the Bible Belt, those poor counties will have enough of money generated so that way those students can take those same classes that are given over over what I call the white county, the racist cities, Hoover Plantation, Vestavia, the Old Lady, Mountain Brook, Homewood, the Twins. So you have all this revenue being generated because of the monorail system. There's already a plan. Because all those counties commissioners have to do is come together, present their idea to the legislators. Those legislators can present it to the governor. The governor can present it to the representatives in Washington. Birmingham, Alabama is in a unique position. And now I read where some people are saying that, well, California, we're not California. We're Alabama. You can't even compare us to California, thank God. And for those of you who don't know anything about Alabama history, or who were never taught Alabama history, who have forgotten Alabama history, if you were to isolate Alabama from the other states, Alabama is the only state in the union that is self-sufficient. We have the land, we have the climate, we have the water. You already have the plans. Under Mayor Langford's administration, he has the plans formulated, generated, had all the environmental research done. It can be done. And if it is marketed effectively, efficiently, it will pay for itself in over 10 years. The Robert Trent Jones golf courses from the retirement system, when it was first brought up, there were a lot of the legislators, old white ass men, who would say, no, it won't generate enough money. Because of the Robert Trent Jones golf courses being marketed effectively, efficiently, it is worldwide known. Because it is marketed effectively, efficiently. And that brings back the question, who in the hell did the marketing for the World Games? Because from what I understand, it wasn't put out there. It only went to Atlanta. So whoever was over marketing, you fucked up. You were negligent. You were incompetent. Because if the World Games had been marketed effectively, efficiently, there is a possibility that it wouldn't be in the deficit that it is. And then again, when you knew that the hotels were not being booked, should not that have presented some red flags to you? So there's no reason for these vendors not to be paid their money. They need to be paid. They need to be paid. Also, with the monorail system, you have the Sportsplex over there at 5 Points West. If you would market it, if you would run the Sportsplex like it's supposed to be run, with equipment that works, with competent individuals managing it, and not who, we won't even go there. But if you had individuals that were competent, that were running the Sportsplex like it was supposed to, and it is marketed correctly, you wouldn't have the problem. So you can use the Sportsplex, have an Olympic pool, state of the art, marketed effectively, efficiently, so that way you would have international coaches coming over wanting to use the facility to train their swimming teams, the diving teams, anything that deals with water. That way you can build facilities out there. That way you can build restaurants out there. Then you can have transportation. That would generate money for Birmingham as well as Jefferson County. And then on top of that, if everyone would get on the same page and know that the pie is huge, everybody can get their fair share. Then you have the Port of Birmingham. All you have to do is have the Army Corps of Engineers to come in to dredge it, to make it wider, to make it deeper. Now, if you don't know what the Tom Bigby waterway is, you need to check it out. It is one of the hidden jewels of Alabama. So the Army Corps of Engineers can come into the Tom Bigby waterway. It can dredge it. It can make it deeper for those to accommodate those ships. They can make it wider to accommodate those ships. And that in itself would generate enough of money for the entire state of Alabama as well as the southeastern United States. And all it takes is this partnership. All the counties come together, meet. Everything is presented to the county commissioners. The mayors come in. And you can, you think that, well, we can't get everybody together. You're lying, because you have the technology to get everybody together, because there are classes up at, say, for instance, University of Alabama, Alabama State, Alabama A&M, Auburn, that you have all these over, 500 and something students in a state or in a room. And then on the screen, you have the professor who's across the campus doing the lecture over the damn screen. You can do the same. You could have one screen, do a Zoom where everybody is connected. And the information is presented to all the county commissioners, as well as the mayors, as well as the governor. And then if you want to, you can bring them idiots up in Washington, because that's what they are. Because when you have two senators voting against veterans who are voting against families and all, they're idiots. And we're not even going to talk about the congressman. The only congressperson that we have that has any type of sense, any type of conscience, any type of dignity is Congresswoman Searle. The only one. And she's a Democrat. I'm not saying. So there's no reason to have this deficit. And the thing that saved Birmingham was that we had the venues. And who the hell invited Hoover to the table? Who invited Hoover to the table? How much revenue did Hoover receive from having the sports over at Hoover? Who invited Hoover? I would wager that Hoover will not share the revenue with Birmingham. Hoover should never have been part of the equation. Hoover should never have been part of the equation. And anyone who knows me knows that I have venom towards Hoover, the plantation. I have no love for Hoover. Never will have love for Hoover. It is the flagship of the racist cities in Jefferson County. So who invited Hoover? Who even gave Hoover the chance to even host or to have the games over in Hoover? Where's that? How much money was generated from those games? How much money was given to Hoover? Because Hoover should share that money with Birmingham. Get me started. Too early in the morning. And then on top of that, because of not being handled correctly, you didn't even get in touch with the sheriff before he made his budget, so that way he could add overtime for the deputies. And I think there's a 16.1%, no, $1.3 million in overtime costs from the Jefferson County Sheriff's Department. That was not even calculated with BOCs. So where's the tourism people? Should not the department dealing with tourism for Jefferson County from Birmingham City, should they not have done their due diligence to make sure that everything was run properly? Should they not have? I'm just asking. Now, this comes from Philando Parker Sr., and he brings out a good point. This is why business owners should always keep a full understanding of the demographics of where they decide to open a business. Never fall for the pimp game banana in the tailpipe. Always do your research on the demographics of a city or whatever area. This was done in 2017 and will give you an understanding as a whole why the whole city, Birmingham, can't support big events on a regular. And this was done by Alabama.com News 2017. Birmingham is also one of the poorest cities in the U.S. About 29% of the city's population lives in poverty, roughly doubled the 15% U.S. poverty rate. The typical household in Alabama's largest city earns just $32,378 a year, more than $23,000 below the national median household income. Poorest. And the reason why we're poor is because we do not have the leadership that we rightfully deserve. Randy technically has lied. He ran on a progressive platform. He's no longer, he is no more progressive than I'm a Catholic. And if he would get his head out of the white folks' ass, and if he would quit kissing the white man's ass, maybe he can become the mayor that he's supposed to be. Because technically you have two camps. You have Arrington and you have Langford. Then you have Kincaid and you have Bell. Then you have Woodfin. Woodfin has the chance to create his own legacy, his own camp. Because he has the resources. He has the platform from Arrington and Langford to create off of. Because you can't get shit from Kincaid and Bell's administration. And then the question I asked, is there a grant writer there at City Hall? Because, see, during Arrington's and Langford's administration, there was an adequate, a professional, a master of writing grants. But because of this grant writer making more money than Kincaid, and the grant writer was not being paid by the city, Kincaid fired him because he was making more money than he was. But the city wasn't paying him. He was earning his keep because he was writing those grants to generate the money to come into the city. So do you have a grant writer there at City Hall? And if you don't, you need to get off your ass and quit playing with this goddamn money, pay the people you're supposed to pay, and get you a grant writer. And again, you have 3 projects that will set you up for life. You can bring the monorail system to Jefferson County, to Birmingham. You can bring the Olympic pool to Birmingham, to Jefferson County. You can initiate the Port of Birmingham. And understand, I don't give a happy whatever. It can be called the Port of Let's Kick Your Ass. I don't care. Because the white folks don't want anything with Birmingham listed in it. So you have 3 projects, Ray, Randy, Randall, that would create your own legacy. And we wouldn't be the poorest city in the United States because our citizens are making less than $23,000 below. That's a travesty. Got me upset. I lost my place. So you have a deficit because of negligence, because of incompetence. Because if you, first of all, If you're going to blame travel, if you're going to blame COVID, should you not have put that in the calculations? If you are a committee, the CEO of the committee, should you not know that these are the negatives? Now, again, the one thing that helped Birmingham was that we had the venues. You even use the old lady, the gray lady, Legion Field. Legion Field. But yet y'all want to tear Legion Field down because she's old and decrepit. But your ass is always using her, aren't you? And again, I don't understand. If I'm incorrect, please let me know. I don't understand why the little TikTok stadium couldn't be used for the baseball, because Hoover should never have been part of the equation, should never have been allowed to be a participant to the World Games. Now, this comes from Eric L. Welch Guster. I love him. I love his mama. His mom is fantastic. The best educator that's come out of, well, she's a fantastic lady. This comes from Eric Guster. The World Games stated that they had a $14 million shortfall. Vendors have not been paid. They're asking the city of Birmingham for additional $5 million. They're saying the expected crowds didn't come. The hotels were never booked. Should that not have been known? Where's the people over tourism? Negligence, incompetence. They should have known. So why weren't measures taken to reduce the budgets? The crowd they promised was never going to come. If you want more money, these are the things that we need to know. This is what we need to know before we give you any more money. This is what we need to know. Who was paid first? Who was paid first? Who got the money first? How much were the staff, executive, vendors, and etc. paid? Which vendors are owned? Why weren't those small vendors paid first? Because if you don't pay them, they could go bankrupt. They need to have been paid. They need to be paid today. They need to be paid today. Fuck tomorrow. They need to be paid today. Who is owned? Can the city work out those payments directly? World Games should submit accurate accounting of all expenditures. What sponsors backed out? We need to know exactly what sponsors and why. What were their excuses for them backing out? What did Randy do or did not do? How much was top brass paid? Did they get all their money? Did they take a pay cut? When they knew the money wasn't flowing in, did they cut anything back? Or they paid to make these decisions? So these are adequate questions. These are adequate questions. Again, hotels were never booked. Why weren't measures taken to reduce the budget? The crowds were never promised. You claim about COVID and about international travel. Should that not have been cut back? And then again, where's the money for the homeless shelters? Ray, Randall, Randy, Smitherman, where's the money? Who was paid first? How much were the staff, executive, vendors, etc. paid? Which vendors are owned? Why weren't those small vendors paid first? Who is owned? Can the city work out those payments directly? The World Games should submit accurate accounting of all expenditures. I think a forensic audit should be done on the books. Who kept the money? Where follow the money? A forensic audit should be performed on the books. What sponsors backed out? Why did they back out? How much was top brass paid? Did they all get their money? Did they take a pay cut? When they knew the money wasn't coming in, did they cut anything back? Now, if these top individuals were paid first, well, then you're crooks. And you should never be used again. You should never be used again. And if your position is appointed, you should lose your position and you should step down. The vendors need to be paid today. Those questions should be answered soon. But I think that a forensic audit should be done on all books. I want to know where the money went. I want to, especially the money for the homeless shelters. Where did the money go? Where did the money go? How much money did Hoover get for its participation? And did Hoover share that money, share that revenue with Birmingham? Hoover should never be connected with Birmingham. None of Birmingham's activity. There's no love lost between me and Hoover. I have not shopped in Hoover in over 20 years. And I wish that I could bypass it so I wouldn't have to go through it or next to it. So what you going to do? What we're going to do? What we're going to do? So I'd like to thank Eric Guster. I'd like to thank, quit messing up. But I mean, I don't understand why vendors weren't paid anyway. I don't understand. There was a question about the transportation coming and going. But see, we have to understand, again, it's a learning experience. Birmingham could do better, will do better the second go around, as long as the people who were over this are not involved in other activities coming up, because they're inadequate. They're insistent. What is it? The delinquent, negligent, incompetent. Eric Guster, Roy S. Johnson, and Philando Parker Sr. Thank y'all so much. Thank y'all so much. But the vendor should be paid. And O'Quinn, O'Queer, or whatever the hell his name is, he just needs to step down. Because, see, that's another problem with City Hall, is that you have the name brands, which I call the people who are riding on the coattails of their relatives, who had stellar reputation when it came to community, stellar reputation when it came to working on city council. Fantastic. You can't get any better. But then you have these little youngins who don't know what the hell they're doing. So the name brands need to step down. Then you have individuals like O'Quinn, O'Queer, or whatever his name is, DQ, talking about the $4 million can be used someplace else. But yet you put this individual into office. That's why I'm telling you, Besseman, you need to vote for people who are there for you and not who will use you or just want the title. Because, see, we vote for popularity. We don't vote for experience. And just because somebody's a preacher, just because somebody's daddy was a preacher, just because a family is preachers, that doesn't mean they're going to be a good representative. Because most individuals just want the title. They don't want the responsibility that goes with those titles. Because they're peacocks. They're pompous, they're arrogant, they're obnoxious. City Hall, you need to do better. Where's this $5,000 that these other workers need? How come the holiday pay wasn't reinstated? Why is there picks and chooses? And why are the employees of City Hall going to the county? Because of somebody being a pompous ass, kissing all the white folks' asses, among other things, which is none of my business. We need individuals in positions that are going to serve as examples that's going to do what is right. During COVID, those benefits that were taken away from the city workers should be put back into place. Should have already been put back in place. The monorail system needs to be interviewed, investigated, researched. The Olympic pool needs to be researched. Port of Birmingham needs to be researched. Because you have the floor plan, you have the blueprint. It can be done. And again, those three projects, if they are marketed effectively and efficiently, they will pay for themselves in 10 years. Alabama will be self-sufficient in that it really won't need, per se, government money, but it belongs to us and we need it to couple with what we have. That means that you could have every interstate, every county road with lights that work. That means that every education is funded completely. That means that social services are being provided effectively. It's a travesty what you're doing to the veterans. It's a travesty what you're doing to the elderly. It's a travesty what you're doing to the homeless. It's a travesty what you're doing to the children. Because children, I mean, you claim to be a Christian. How the hell are you Christian when you have veterans not being served properly? Not given this respect that they deserve? When it comes to the elderly, when it comes to the children, no child should have to worry about where they're going to get their food. You could increase, the salary. You can increase. So all those mental illness, you could have classes, or you could have a comprehension class when it comes to you don't need these brand new prisons. And why in the hell did KK, who is our governor, God love her, not? Why would you use the COVID money to build these damn prisons? Now understand, the Democrats and the Republicans are twins. They're both identical. But if we don't get off of our behinds, and November is going to be the deciding factor, because if the Democrats do not control one of the houses, we're messed up, especially when it comes to the Senate. They claim that the Republicans are going to control the House, and there's a possibility, slim, that the Democrats are going to control the Senate. And that's going to be a travesty, because I keep telling you, the Republicans have been so bold that they're telling us already, once we get control back, we're going after Social Security, we're going after social services. And people never talk about the 2 times that Congress went into Social Security and raided Social Security twice under Bush's administration and never paid it back. Research it. Find out. Find out. I appreciate y'all. If you have not done so, please go to Smash Bros Radio, like, share, and follow. We have an app. Please download the app. You can find Smash Bros Radio on Facebook, also on Instagram. You can find OZZz on TikTok. You can find me on Instagram. You can find me on YouTube. Oh, also, Smash Bros Radio is also located on YouTube. So please go follow, share. So I'm found on TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. I have a Facebook page. I have 2 Facebook pages, OZZz and the AMs with Humes. So please download. Please go like, follow. And we appreciate you. Y'all be safe out there. Be safe out there, please. It's raining. Have a good week. Know your value. Know your worth. Know that you can accomplish anything that you want. And most importantly, know that I love you more than I love my luggage. I'll see you tomorrow. Y'all take care. The live stream on the show.
show.
The live stream.
Fumes, 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 fumes. On the show, on the show, on the show. Fumes, 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 fumes.
The live stream.
Fumes, 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 fumes. Fumes, on the show. Fumes, fumes, fumes. On the show. Fumes, fumes, fumes. On the show. Fumes, fumes, fumes. On the show, on the show, on the show. Fumes, fumes, fumes.
The live stream.
On the show.